We're doing some of your history today.
My history?
Yeah, American. You're American.
Oh. All right. I was
He
worried
found
you
out about
were-
the murder.
No, I was worried about it. I thought it was the Italian part of me, and I was going to be upset.
Oh, no. No, you might still be upset. I'm tying up loose ends, like you called it last time. I'm doing episodes I said I was going to do, and I just never did. So I'm doing them.
Oh my. All right.
Yeah. And we talked about this one in episode like 11. And I just was like, I'm going to do this. And then, we're covering Thomas Edison today.
Oh, right. Yep.
He remembers kind of.
The counterpart.
Yeah. To our little buddy, Nikola.
Mm-hmm.
That episode I made Edison kind of villainish. Because he is kind of villainish.
He is, yeah.
But I got a few things wrong.
That's okay. I don't want to get things right, especially if it makes people look bad.
Yeah, it's funnier.
Because like, you know he deserves it, even if it's not true.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
For every untrue thing you say about him, it's only fair because I'm certain there's a bad thing about him that we don't know. So it balances out.
Especially in like the 1800s. Yeah, for sure. That guy did so many heinous things that nobody knows about.
Yeah, there isn't any way that he didn't have some hand in owning people.
He was basically what, like, if there was no laws, Elon Musk. Like, you know what I mean? Typical cutthroat, rich fucking assholes who pretend to be nice, and people love him.
Elon Musk, because there are no laws for him.
That's, I guess. Yes, but you're also right. He still can't just murder someone in the middle of the street. That won't happen. Like he'll be done for. You think he could just walk into the middle of like Times Square and just shoot someone in the head like Donald Trump said he could do?
Yeah. I mean, I think like that would get enough attention. Like I think it'd be kind of like unprecedented, but like I think if you narrow it or broaden it rather to killing people, he for sure has. They've all been able to kill people and get away with it. I guarantee it.
You think Elon's got him out of body count?
Undoubtedly.
No, like I mean, like personally, or do you think he has minions doing it? You think he's like how super villain do you think he is? Does he like have someone he's torturing from Russia waiting?
No, I think he's a pussy. You ever seen Succession?
No, I've not.
Oh, it's an incredible show.
I know what it is, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's so fucking good. If you ever watch it, there's a thing where somebody is responsible for a death in that, and it's like, yep, guaranteed.
All right, okay.
It's incredibly believable, and it's like, at a bare minimum that.
I like maybe I'm just not as cynical. I feel like I'm cynical sometimes, but I don't know if I'm that cynical. Maybe, like, probably. You're probably right, but I just don't. That's not my first thought.
This is why you guys are. It's going to be your turn. This is exactly why.
I know he's ruined people. I guaranteed he's done that. Guaranteed he's financially destituted someone to like the point of like committing suicide.
With Doge alone, he's been indirectly responsible for thousands of deaths.
You're probably right. That's
the money involved in there with all the programs that they cut funding to was literally for programs to like feed and give medical aid to people, and they just took it away.
To the moon, RJ. To the moon.
And yet it's that class of people that has made it so that it's incredibly unsavory to wish death upon folks, despite being responsible for the majority of it throughout history. So
are you trying to like I wish death on that guy too, but for different, like, I guess, like, what would happen if Elon died tomorrow? Like, really, would all of his money just be like given to one of his 17 children and they become way worse because they were born in that?
It would depend on how he did. That's the important part. Because as we know, if you make it very public by doing it in someone's back and leg in the middle of the street in New York City, you just become everyone's hero. And that guy wasn't even nearly as bad as Elon Musk. He probably was a nice guy.
Yeah, he was just looking at bottom lines.
Yeah.
He's an accountant. Yeah, the Luigi thing's fucked too, but like, I don't know. Like, yeah, he must have. Because like, there is a theory where Edison killed a guy, took his invention, killed him for his patent. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Elon did it too. I think they're the same people, just in different times, honestly, in lots of ways.
I mean, at least Edison invented the light bulb. Elon Musk didn't invent anything.
Elon Musk or Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb either.
Yeah, but like he gets to have credit for it. That's the beauty with Elon Musk is like ultimately at the end of the day, he's not gonna get credit for any of this. He's
Yeah,
already like the illusion shattered. Everyone thinks he's a fucking loser.
I like if he lands on Mars, maybe he'll be recognized for something good. But you're right. Everything else is like he's a joke and a half. The flamethrower, what the fuck are you doing? That's actually
He's a
when Elon was more funny.
he was a big kid. He's just a big childish fucking petulant baby who just goes around buying things to then make money and buy more things and be like, "Look what I did, Dad! Isn't
Dad,
my penis so big?"
Dad's like, shut up, I'm watching the game. And that's how his life's
Yeah,
continuously
and the
going.
game is two black people fighting in a pit.
South African style.
Yeah.
Fucking apartheid never left this basement, motherfucker. Yeah. All right, well, let's see how this goes. Let's talk about America's greatest inventors, what they call them.
An elite team of private detectives.
What if balloons are aliens? Maybe that's the key component we're missing.
Cover-ups.
John's guilty.
Mysteries that need to be solved.
Maybe Mormons need mountains.
Richard, shut up.
All right, Thomas Alva Edison was the seventh child born from his father Samuel Ogden Edison Jr. and Nancy Matthew Elliott Edison. Being the seventh and last born, he was the youngest and therefore the favorite child, because that's how that works.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Is your youngest brother the favorite or sister? You have a young brother. You don't have sisters, right?
I do have a sister, and it's different because it's almost like two separate eras because my sister is younger and we have the same father, but then my little brothers didn't come until she was 13, so they're 15 years younger than me, so it's a little bit different, and they're twins.
Yeah. So,
But collectively, they're for sure favorited because they had to be. They were babies, and and we were old and to be discarded at the age of 15 and 13.
but before your twins, were the sister the favorite too?
Oh, yes, she still is in certain regards.
Okay.
I have a vivid memory of me holding onto my mom's legs while I was in the pool, and then my dumbass sister fell into the pool, and then the next thing I know, I'm at the bottom of the pool because my mom jumped up to go and get her, and she was literally my lifeline and let me sink.
This one has more potential. This one only needs glasses.
Yeah, it's as if like I would just suddenly learn how to swim. That's how it was taking a lot of time. Well, your sister's drowning, so you gotta learn how to swim. Right now.
It's so funny. We teach Sarah about a story when Oscar. It just reminds me of this. When he was little, I guess it was at work, and she was at the park with whatever with Oscar as a baby in Toronto, and she went by one of the garbage cans and had a bunch of bees, and she saw the bees like at the garbage can, so she like threw the stroller and ran away from the bees. She just let the fucking bees go at the kid. Is that what she did? She's like, I wasn't thinking. I was just scared. I tease her about it all times.
Bee bait.
Edison was born on February 11th, 1847 in Milan, Ohio. Do you know where that is?
No, it's Ohio. Fuck.
Ohio is trash.
There's nothing good in Ohio. Oh, shit.
As a kid, he was scrawny, but he grew up to be kind of medium build, a little chunky, I would say, if you look at pictures of him. He was 5'10", probably 200 pounds, 180, 200 pounds. Not like gigantic, but not small by any means. One of his defining features was his blue-gray eyes. They used to stand out very heavily. Lots of people talked about his gray eyes. He was a businessman at later parts of the 19th century, living as a rich man, but he still dressed and acted like a guy who came from nothing. He smoked cigars. He chewed tobacco. His clothes are always all full of soot and dust and disheveled. His hair was always all fucked up, looked in disarray. He didn't give a shit about his looks. And people said that was part of Edison's charm. Edison was like a guy that focused heavily on whatever he was doing all the time. So if he was paying attention to you, it was like you were the only person in the room. People described him a lot like how Clinton's described a lot in your country. Like, even if you hated him, by the time you're done talking to him, you're like still his buddy. I don't know.
I don't know about that. For me, I would still slap Bill Clinton in the fucking face.
For sure, but you've never actually really had a conversation with him where he
Oh,
talked.
he's that's lucky for him.
Oh God. Although his first name was Thomas. Sorry, Thomas grew up more in a town called Port Huron, Michigan, border town to Canada, and right beside a bunch of rail lines.
Alongside of a bunch of rail lines.
He.
I was like, Jesus,
know.
at what point are we defending this guy?
Although his name was Thomas, his family called him Al, short form for Alva, his middle name. So everybody called Edison actually Al. And something about Al Edison is very less iconic sounding than Thomas Edison. To me, Alva Edison just sounds like that guy wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, no, that's a dude who like couldn't get out of like steerage on the steamboat working. Like he was like, I'm gonna be first mate one day, and then he like loses an arm inside of one of the fucking gears or something.
Just a lonely drunk at the bar after that, just telling.
Yeah, and then they just sympathy keep him around. They're like, I don't know, he can fucking clean the toilets or something.
What's your job? I'm the skipper. Yeah, you're the skipper. Sure.
Yep. Shit skipper.
Yeah. Tell Thomas was about 6 or 7. He lived in Milan, but then they moved to Port Huron when he was about that time. And then he drops out of school early to be homeschooled by his mom. She was a former school teacher and could give him the attention he deserved. And because they say he was awkward and didn't really fit in with anybody at school, like he was a weird kid. He just liked to be by himself. Liked to learn on his own. Curious kid. There's a story where he burnt down his father's barn as a kid. And they asked, like, why did you do that? And he's like, I don't know. I just wanted to see what happened. I want to watch something burn down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Early on, he's already a firebug. Let's see where this goes. He read all of his father's books. He was inspired by a book his mother gave him, a school compendium of natural and experimental philosophy. Yeah, science book. That was when he was reading this book. He was always experimenting with electricity, even at a young age. His mom let him set up a little chemistry set in the basement so he could tinker with the chemicals. And that's where he got the stuff to burn down his father's barn. He was like, aha, I made chemicals that can burn.
He did it with chemicals?
Yeah, like he had a little, his parents, I guess, bought him a bunch of shit to like do chemistry. And he like burned down his father's barn. That's what he meant by I wanted to see what would happen is he was fucking around with something.
That's fucking psychotic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know why chemicals makes it so much worse. Cause it's like something like you don't expect to burn. Like you're just playing with matches. You're like, he's a fucking stimming little idiot. But the chemicals, it's like there's so much thought there.
Alva, put the magnesium down.
Yeah. Never, mother.
I am Alva Edison. Like, gotta stop saying that. It's fucking weird. You're Thomas, okay? You're Thomas. Thomas was also into really into the works of Thomas Paine. I don't know if you know who that fucking guy is.
The 99 Theses guy. Is that what it is?
I guess so.
Or that was a different dude.
He was like advocating for American independence. He was putting up pamphlets and stuff before that.
That's so funny. I was thinking of Martin Luther.
Martin Luther Paine?
No. Martin Luther, the fucking the religion guy.
Oh, like Lutheranism, Luther, like
yeah.
Okay,
yeah he's the one who did the Theses, I think.
Yeah, he fucked with the Pope. I like that guy. Yeah, probably fucked in the same room as the Pope too. Weird ass dude. Okay, at the age of 12, Thomas started to progressively lose his hearing. I'm not really sure how bad it was as a kid, but by the end of his life, he had 100% hearing loss in one ear and 80% in the other. It must have been pretty bad because later in life, Thomas Edison once said that last time he heard a bird chirp was when he was 12 years old. The story that Thomas told people about how he lost his hearing is absolutely made up. There's no way this is true. He said that a train conductor lifted him by the ears to save him from a train fire. And at the apex of the ear lift, he heard a pop and most of his hearing was gone after that. So like he thinks the guy picked him up like a fucking bowling ball, I guess, and like jammed his fingers in his ear enough so far to smash out his hearing. I don't believe that shit at all. I don't think that's how ears
What?
work. Yeah.
It's not how you get progressive hearing loss. You just
It
have
was
shitty genes.
it's part of it. This is historians debate the shit out of that story. They say like it's more likely he had a bout of untreated scarlet fever as a kid, and that killed his
Mm.
hearing. And then it's a combination of that and genetic factors, like his father had hearing problems as well. So yeah, there's also a story where he had untreated ear infection as a kid that also could have contributed to his hearing loss. And they did like a weird little surgery on him when he was older, and he had lost like 90% of the bones, like the hearing stuff in his ear. It was like, yeah, and nothing to do with the train conductor, in my opinion. But he loved to tell that story. Train conductor, pick me up by the ears.
All right, Thomas.
So yeah.
Maybe it's because you were inhaling chemicals while you were lighting shit that wasn't yours on fire.
That could be it too. Do you get hearing loss for that? He was only 80% in one ear and 100% in the other. So like he's not fully deaf. Does he become like partially deaf? You know, he could be partially blind but still be like legally blind. Was he like
Yeah.
legally deaf but not really deaf?
Yeah, that's usually how it works. Like most people who are deaf are hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with blindness, yeah. Like if I didn't have my left eye, I would be legally blind.
Oh,
Because
really?
of how shitty my vision of my right eye is. Yeah.
Left eye's carrying, eh?
Oh, heavy. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Thomas did not. Do you consider that a handicap? Your eye?
Oh yeah, I identify as retarded. That's why I get to say it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thomas didn't consider his deafness a handicap at all. He said it was an advantage. He could ignore small talk and distractions and just focus on his work if he wanted to. And it's funny for me because he's known for inventing and innovating many audio inventions like the phonograph. He's the first guy to record and play back sound ever. And to hear the phonograph when he would first play it, he'd have to like chomp down on the wood part and hear through his head. He
That's
wouldn't even-
awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. You know those stupid lollipop things? You ever see those? It's like that. Those like hear
Oh
pop
yeah.
things.
Yep.
At 13, the Edison family had financial problems, and Thomas's father lost his job. His mother was very sick, and Thomas had to start helping pay the bills. He's a teenager now. Get a job. I feel like that was normal.
Yeah.
Edison's first job was what they call a news butcher. You know what that is?
It's where you work at Fox News and you make shit up all the time. Because you're like, hey, the Donald Trump is rapidly deteriorating, and they're like, look at how pretty he is. He's so handsome. That's what they do. They butcher the reality of it.
Butcher the news. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's just a different word for like a newsy, like a newsboy. Get extra, extra. I just thought it was fun. News butcher.
News butcher.
Yeah. He was selling newspapers on trains running from Port Huron to Detroit. That job was cool for Edison, always looking for a way to make more money. So Edison figured out that he could buy groceries for cheaper in Detroit and sell them at home in Port Huron for profit. So like this 13-year-old kid's getting a couple bags of groceries on the way
See,
back.
it's cute and precocious when you're 13. It's evil and fucked up when you're doing the same thing with like pharmaceutical meds as a 49-year-old. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
that's the thing that they're wrongfully encouraged for their hustle when they're young. So like if you see a kid doing that, like kill him.
It is kind of like it's I would imagine he was a child and got taken advantage of just as much as he took advantage of. I imagine that's what's happening at these stores in Detroit. They're like, yeah, but yeah, kid.
Yeah, probably. But you got to cull them when they're young.
I guess so. Yeah. So he bought that. He did that. He couldn't carry super lots and had no money, so he started selling candy, vegetables, and other small provisions alongside his papers on the trains. After a while, he had a couple other kids running food carts for him in Port Huron. He's making $50 a week as a 13-year-old in 1840 or 60 something.
What's the conversion?
I didn't do it, but I could do it right now. $50 in 1860 money.
Mm-hmm.
$1,200 a week.
Damn. All right.
That's fucking pretty good. He made enough money to buy an old printing press that the newspaper wasn't using anymore, the newspaper he's selling papers for. And this kid starts his own newspaper on the train. A 13-year-old kid started his own newspaper printed on a mail car where he set up the printing press. I find that amazing. And then he called it the Grand Trunk Herald, which to me sounds like a kid from the 1800s naming something in a humorous way. Like, be like a kid naming a news website like thebigbacknews.com now. To me, like the Grand Trunk Herald.
Yeah.
He has such a grand trunk. But I'm just an idiot, and I didn't really look into it when I wrote that joke, so I kept it in. But the paper's just named after the train. The train was called the Grand Trunk
Nah,
Railway. I was like, damn, I wish it was an ass joke.
boring.
The Grand Trunk Herald had 500 subscribers, so he's delivering and selling his newspapers. He's delivering all this food and stuff, and he's making shit money doing that. He had 2 assistants. He kept the first issue of the Grand Trunk Herald and framed in his house until the day he died. He loved it. It was the best thing, the first thing he ever did that he really loved. And it only made 24 issues because he started a fire in the mail car with his printing press. The fire's where this conductor supposedly saved Edison by pulling him up by the ears, and that's when he lost his hearing right after the train fire. He was kicked off that train immediately, but for some reason he wasn't fired. But his newspaper days were over. Then the second of the most unbelievable stories about Al Edison comes up. At 15, while doing some odd jobs around the train yard, this is the story. He saw a 3-year-old boy named Jimmy McKenzie sitting on the rail about to get hit by a runaway boxcar. So Al drops all of his papers and vegetables and candies and ran as fast as he could and pulled little Jimmy off the tracks just in the nick of time. Wow, what a hero.
Damn.
What a hero. No? He saved Jimmy
Yeah.
McKenzie. Jimmy McKenzie's father, a guy named J.U., they just called him J.U., worked at the station. He was the telegraph operator. And Mackenzie Sr. was so impressed by the young man Edison for saving his son's life that he told Thomas that he would repay him in any way he wanted. And Thomas, being the kid that he was, jumped on the opportunity and said, I want to learn telegraphy.
Oh.
And Mackenzie Sr. taught him, and he got good at it. He was soon the telegrapher at the local general store. At 16, he moved to Stratford, Ontario to work the night telegrapher for his old company, the Grand Trunk Railway. This was a night shift job. It was perfect for him to pursue his other interests like chemistry and science experiments of various nature. And he didn't really sleep much, and he passed out on his job at his night shift job sometimes because it wasn't a super busy job. But one time he fell asleep so badly that it almost led to 2 trains colliding. So after that, he knew the job wasn't for him, and he quits, and he becomes a full-time telegrapher. So between the ages of 16 and 22, he worked many different night shift telegraphy jobs. He went from town to town working the night shift on the telegraph wherever they needed him. Essentially an old-timey job. Worked the night shift at the telegraph. Like, I love it. I don't know why that's
Got
amazing. He worked in Ontario, Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, Massachusetts. He worked for Western Union. He got moved back to Boston. Western Union was a great job for Edison because it was the biggest telegraphy company in the world. And he joins the National Telegraph Union and he writes for their magazine. He starts to learn Spanish during this time. And all throughout that time, he's still tinkering and playing with chemistry, both of which kept him into trouble. And he starts inventing when he was moonlighting for Western Union. His first patent came when he invented the electrographic vote counter, and this is 1868, while he lived in Boston. It was an automatic vote counting machine that he carved out of pieces of wood, whittling it using a knife. And the electrographic vote counter would take votes in government settings much faster than what politicians were taking doing the votes by hand. So he was like, I'm going to speed up the voting process. This is great.
Interesting.
So
The
Edison,
parallels extend.
Edison sold fellow telegrapher DeWitt Roberts a share of his invention for $100. Roberts was a telegrapher in Washington, so he took the invention to Congress to show it off. And what do you think politicians thought of this thing?
Ooh, how can we cheat with it?
Actually, You're wrong, which is fun. They hated it. It quickened up the voting process too much. They didn't want to go fast. They wanted time. The time that the voting took to like talk to people, change their votes, filibuster potentially.
Right. They thought it would make their cheating less efficient. What they didn't
Exactly.
realize.
Exactly. They were honestly mostly pissed because it would stop them from being able to trade racehorses. All these politicians just were like, they just had their side gigs going on, and they're like, wait, how am I supposed to get my new steed?
Simpler times.
It is great. So
If only things didn't. If only Congress was so slow. That was the only like extracurricular trade they could do still to this day.
they're still trading
Just
racehorses.
trading horses. Yeah. It's like, oh, Nancy Pelosi just sold 3,500 purebred stallions
It would be awesome if that was like
for
35,000. Like
bonds.
it's just a giant number. Where
Yeah,
does Nancy Pelosi have 35,000 fucking horses?
Yeah, well, wherever it was probably bankrupting her just to keep it alive.
Sure. Oh, so in 1869, motivated by his failure, Edison quit his job at Western Union to invent full time. And this time, this is what they say. This is so dramatic, and all the things that I read, and all this is the time he vowed to focus on inventing stuff people actually wanted, not just shit he thinks is cool. Anyways, so 1870 moves to New York City. He knew he had to be in New York. Edison moved in with his friend Franklin Leonard Popes in the basement, and they got into business together. Pope was also a telegrapher and wanted to be an inventor, so they invented the Pope and Edison Electrical Company. Their first invention was an improved stock ticker. So this one people liked. This one's gonna make you money faster. This one's a good one.
Yeah, that's all they needed was those guys to get on board with it. And then the politicians were like, yes, we would love the automatic thing. Also, we too feel strongly in favor of that now, suddenly, for no particular reason.
So they sell that first invention to the Golden Stock Telegraph Company for $40,000 in that time money. Like I can't even imagine. Like I look right now. I still have it up. 40K.
Did you hear about the local
That's $1
council?
million.
$1 million they sold it for?
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
That's crazy. No, that's so much money. But there's a local council member. I don't remember what town. I got to find out. But he the entire town voted against like the flock cameras. Are you familiar with those?
No.
They're basically like a network of cameras that are constantly tracking everything in their vicinity, and that they network together so that basically, like, if one of them captures some kind of data, it's incredibly invasive here, and I don't even know if it's legal other places. It shouldn't even be legal here, but they like store so much of it so that cops can just basically like look up a license plate, and the data in the camera will be able to like gather like where it's been, when, like
That's
all
wild.
this stuff.
Okay, that's scary. That's Skynet shit. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. There's a few down the street here, in the Lowe's parking lot. Because I mean, realistically, if people are going to steal a bunch of shit, it's going to be from Lowe's. But people are very against them, so a lot of towns are like fighting against it, and the town voted against it. So the guy had like an absolute tantrum and like started like threatening to drop legislation to ban all like cell phones and internet usage in like the jurisdiction. And it was like, just say they were paying you. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, you might as well. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you throw a fit like that?
You know how much money you just lost me?
Yeah. It's like, be
literally
more transparent. Like, you just need to take those people out back and just pull all of their fucking fingernails off. Like, that's the type of idiocy that should just be forever shamed. That way, that when that guy's working at a gas station somewhere, ringing stuff up, they're like, someone could be like, "Oh, you don't have any fingernails." I know you did.
I know who you are. Yeah. Oh God. So yeah, they get $1 million for their stock ticker. With the money, they hire 50 employees and open up a larger shop in Newark, New Jersey. Eventually, Edison and Pope broke off business relations, and Edison took over the business. Mid-December 1871, a 24-year-old Thomas Edison meets his first wife, Mary Stillwell. She worked for him, and he noticed the 16-year-old girl punching perforations into a telegraph tape.
You can cut off all of the rest of that at 16-year-old.
Here it gets
Because
worse.
that was probably the only thing that he cared about.
It gets worse. He walked up to her all awkward and stuff and was like, I'm paraphrasing, okay, but he's like, "Hey, I think you're pretty and stuff, and then do you want to get married? And then go talk to your mother and discuss it, and we can get married on Christmas Day if you're up for it. If you're both up for it." That's literally the first thing he ever said to this girl, this 16-year-old
Yeah,
girl
and she
who
was
worked
like,
for him.
"Me, me, me, me," and he was like, "What?
Huh?
Did you say yes?"
So Stillwell's mother agrees to this. So I guess girls had to go ask their mom first, and they get married on Christmas Day, 1871. Edison was such a workaholic that right after the ceremony was complete, he went back to his workshop and worked on the stock ticker some more.
He just didn't hear her say "I do."
Yeah, I guess she didn't want to. Oh, well, back to
Yeah.
work.
Yep.
I'm just going to summarize their marriage and skip a little ahead here because who cares? They're married for 13 years, had 3 kids together, 2 boys, William and Thomas Jr., and a girl, Marion. First was Marion, 1873. Edison gave her the nickname Dot. So Thomas has 3 kids with this lady. Fuck, I can't even think of her name right now. God damn it, Mary Stillwell. Jesus Christ. Firstborn was a girl named Marion. He nicknamed her Dot. Dot married a German officer, moved to Germany, lived there for 30 years. She returned to the U.S. after that, never had any kids. Secondborn was Tom Jr. Edison nicknamed him Dash, so he nicknamed him after a fucking telegraph, a dot and dash.
Amazing.
Dash was a very sickly child and spent most of his time with his mother in Florida. With his mother or in Florida, sorry. He had respiration problems.
That's awesome. That means he was probably so slow.
Why you say that? Like slow as in speed?
Yeah.
It's ironic now.
That rocks.
Tom Jr. actually had a hard time with his life, being the namesake of the most famous man in the world at the time. Lived in the shadow of his father. In 1890s, Tom was basically a snake oil salesman selling like shitty stuff out of the back of a wagon. Not even joking. And he would sell it like products from Thomas Edison and then put the junior like right underneath all super small so no one would really notice it at first.
That's awesome.
It's so funny.
Why did he do that and not just live off of his father's money, though?
I'm sure his dad barely talked to him.
Bummer.
Edison
should have been faster.
Edison talked to him though later in his life because he had to sue his kid, so he wouldn't use the family name anymore. He had to like sue his name out of his own child in exchange for the suing. Thomas Edison, the real Thomas Edison Sr., I guess, gave his son a $35 a week allowance. He's like, that's like less than it's like $1,000 weekly, like just to shut up, just stop using your name.
I love that.
Then Thomas Jr. started to use aliases and kept selling the shitty goods, but under his new name, Burton Willard.
Should have gone to Eddie Alva.
That would have been awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Eddie Alva would have been amazing. Fuck, that would have been smart.
Eddie Alva's all cures. A Thomas Edison invention. Thomas just done Tom S. Edison.
Tom S. Tom S. Tom SETI son.
Or Tom S. Eddie's son.
It would have been good. I bet you tried like a million combos like we're just doing that. He spitballed so many before he's like, fine, I'll just be Burton Willard. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Tom Jr. Burton Willard was married once for a year. And then when he got married, he basically drank himself to death and never had any children either. Most of the time, Edison and Mary Stillwell were married. She was just pissed at him because he was never home. He was a good father. He wasn't a great father or husband, but he did have that Edison charm. So he would just basically come home after a week of not being home and just like charm the whole family, and everyone would be like eating out of his hand. Tom was closest to Dot, his oldest daughter, and as his 3 kids were growing up, her job was to go into the workshop and bring her dad her lunch. Either way, still not around for his family. And on August 9th, 1884, Mary Stillwell Edison died at the age of 29 after 13 years of marriage. Many books claim that she died of typhoid. Her death certificate says that her cause of death was congestion of the brain. And I found out that congestion of the brain was just a nice 1890s way of saying she probably died from an overdose of morphine.
Oh, I was gonna say stroke, but that's crazy.
Yeah, no, she wasn't like a junkie or whatever, but she had
Oh,
chronic pain from gastritis or neuralgia or something, and she couldn't. You could just get morphine super easy back in those days over the counter, especially if you're a rich
man,
lady. She just like, can I just get some morphine, more of that, and then yeah.
I'd like to give my brain the sniffles as well.
All right, so we'll go back to the marriage. Right after the marriage, back to Edison inventing and growing his business. In 1874, he'd grown his business to a few hundred employees. That same year, Edison Company invented the quadruplex telegraph, which was like he could send 4 different telegraphs on one line, which was like super huge for that time. It upped like efficiency of telegraphs fourfold, and like they didn't have the phone yet or anything like that. So quadrupling messages moving around is pretty good. And this is like Thomas's big story in his whole life. He just took shit and made it better. He did that a lot. He innovated the shit out of things. So he's
Yeah, but did he do it, or was he just the capitalistic factor behind it? Because if he had employees, it sounds like they were probably working on it
Thomas and
with his resources.
I want, and I'll preface this whole what I'm about to say with I hate Thomas Edison. I hate this capitalist asshole. He was a piece of shit, but he was not a good businessman. He definitely was not. He lost a lot of money doing a lot of dumb shit, and he was in the workshop every day with the people.
Yeah, but Trump's a bad businessman. It doesn't mean he
But Trump's not
never has money.
Trump's just the face for something. Like Edison was actually the heart and soul. He was actually down there with the guys working. He was like learning shit. He was. We'll get into his business practice, and yes, he was stealing. I would say he was taking credit for other people's things, but all these guys were happy to do it. Nobody was like mad
Well,
that worked
yeah,
for Edison.
they were like the proto tech bros. That's the
Exactly.
thing. It's
Yep.
just like nobody thought they were doing anything wrong when they made the YouTube algorithm. They didn't think that they were gonna get people to fucking not take vaccines.
Okay, so you're comparing it that way. I see, but I mean, like, yeah, I guess there's some of that too. But I'm talking more like
We're on the cusp of something cutting edge. 4 messages at once, all of them being used to disseminate racist propaganda. Shit.
In a way, he was doing the opposite of that when he had the Grand Trunk Herald, because that's when the Civil War was going on, and he would go get because he's on the telegraph, so he would get all the news from the front line first and go put it in his book, or in his newspaper. But he was like, he was against the Confederate, like he was going for the fucking uh, whatever the fucking North people were, whatever you call those. He was
Yeah.
the Union, yes. So he's passing on the Union um, news. So he was like actually furthering the war as a 13-year-old kid on the Union side.
Was a low bar.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
I still don't think he's necessarily what you would consider woke.
Edison sells the rights to the quadruplex for $30,000, another $1 million basically thing. Edison takes his money and opens up an even bigger shop in Menlo Park, New Jersey. At this shop, he had a strict mandates for his employees. They were to come up with one innovation every 10 days that people would find useful, and once a month they had to come up with a new invention. So if you work there, that's crazy.
That's exactly what I'm fucking saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Is he didn't do it. He was slave driving people. So much for being anti-Confederacy. It sounds like my fucking boss. Jesus Christ.
At this lab, or
I'm paying you 10% more than your wage generally asks. So you should do 500% of the work.
Is that how your work is?
Yes.
That's crazy. No, not me. We figure out ways to make our life easier and do less. Yeah, so they did slave drive people. I put a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure for sure. At that lab, throughout his life, Edison recorded a record-breaking 1,093 patents, more than anyone had ever had. Large corporations nowadays, like IBM and stuff, have like 4,000 patents, but like back then, 1,000, like almost 1,100 patents was crazy.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, John IBM didn't fucking sit down and go, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to invent 580 things. And then next week, I'm going to invent 627. Fuck these fucking people, dude. We need to kill them all.
Oh, God. You know what an early one was that he probably stole from somebody else? An early good invention was the electric pen. It was a device that could use the telegraph to copy a note from one end of the telegraph line to another. So the pen receiving the message would like poke holes into a piece of paper, and it would like come out looking like a stencil for the written message on the other side. it's it's the invention that created the tattoo gun, the electric tattoo gun today. So the guy took that electric pen, and later on, like the guy who actually invented the electric tattoo gun, like was like, "Oh, this is good for tattoos," and that's how we have tattoos today because of Thomas Edison. One of the guys he stole an electric pen invention from.
Sick.
Edison used his money to build the lab at Menlo Park. It was more of a I need to work harder move than anything. He was reinventing how the telegraph worked, and behind his
I
back,
need to work harder, or the people who work for me need to work harder.
for sure, both. That's what he considered working harder.
This guy, he's just it's just another fucking Henry Ford is the same way too. These guys didn't do anything impressive other than be complete and utter dickheads.
Ford was his buddy, and we'll talk about how they're friends later.
Why? What? White supremacy?
Probably.
Anti-Semitism?
Probably.
I'm sure they had plenty of common interests.
He started to be this guy too. This is another
boy,
thing.
I love money and hate Jews.
It's weird because they got a lot of it too. I really hate them even more.
Yeah, we need to take it from them.
One of the things
What's going on in Germany?
The lab did this too, which I find is another evil ass thing that started and it's continuing to this day. Is he started to rent out telegraph lines. Like he started to make like a utility out of telegraph lines. But while he's starting to do that, Alexander Graham Bell is at his heels inventing the telephone. So if that took off, the telegraph would be done for. So Edison was mad that he didn't invent the telephone. He thought about it right away. He's like, I should have thought of that. And what does Al Edison do to compete with the new technology? He didn't have to invent something better. He just needed to make Alexander Bell's invention better. So that's what he worked on heavily. Took the patent, the telephone patents, like, how can I make this better? The telephone, in its earliest incarnation, couldn't go far distances, and it sounded like shit. It sounded like you were speaking far away. So Edison, like, let's just make it sound and work better overall. And that's the key to taking over the telephone. So his employer, Western Union, was pressuring Edison to compete. So that was his other motivator. So Edison had his money men too pushing him, right?
Well, they all do. I mean, even if they're CEOs, that's investors, the board,
For sure.
all that shit. They all. That's what it all is. It's all driven by money. It doesn't mean that you have to be smart. You just have to be an incredible dickhead.
So I think the phone only lasted for the way it was originally, like 3 or 4 years before Edison's next big invention, the carbon microphone. He just kept tinkering with Bell's microphone until it worked better. 200, him and his 200 employees kept tinkering. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this here, and I'm going to say it now. Edison never went to school. He had no formal education ever. He just tinkered with shit, and he got other people to do his bidding for him. He had assistants at 13. Most of his inventions were just done by trial of error, pushing right through the problem with experimentation, never using scientific method, just trying new stuff. Perfect example. I don't know if that is scientific method, though, in my opinion. It's kind of scientific to me is like, let's see if this works. It doesn't. Next. They tested over 150 different materials to make the carbon microphone, and he figured out that carbon was the best like material to make the sound quality work better. So the carbon microphone was his cash cow. It wasn't what made him famous.
Tell me how this guy who worked so hard and did all of this work on the telephone knew how much better he made it sound when he couldn't fucking hear.
That's actually a funny point, but it's not. It's the teeth thing.
Was he sucking on the phone?
He was sucking on the phone.
Yeah, he's just like, we put this carbon in there. Wow, that sounds amazing.
It tastes pretty good too.
Jerry, put your mouth on this. Doesn't that sound gorgeous?
I'll just use my ears, Thomas. What?
The audio quality tastes delicious. I hate this fucking guy.
He's not a good person. So after the carbon microphone is invented and the telephone starts to take off, it's not quite as organized as it now. It didn't have a ringer, so you had to kind of yell into the microphone and hope that someone could hear you, which I found kind of interesting. And so the telephone operators wanted a common word that would stick out so that if you heard it, you knew that someone was trying to contact you on the phone. So Alexander Graham Bell wanted it to be ahoy, ahoy, "Oh, hi," and then somebody pick it up. But that didn't stick. What stuck was Edison's idea. He wanted to use hello. Hello wasn't a common used phrase before Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison made hello a thing. Uh, what hello was more like a hello, and it meant like hello, but it was more like a greeting of surprise. Like if someone came into your room, oh hello, like it would be. It wasn't like what it is now. So, yeah, because of Thomas Edison and us yelling into the phone in its early iterations, hello is the thing. Um, the invention that made Thomas Edison a household name was the phonograph. He got the nickname Wizard of Menlo Park because of the phonograph. The phonograph is a tube-looking thing surrounded in tinfoil. Later versions, it was surrounded in wax. I'm sure you've seen that thing before in your time of being a person. It was invented in 1877 after a late night invention session with the lab with the team.
Cool. A pizza party?
You're gonna love this. He basically, seriously, it was like 8 o'clock at night, and he's like, "Okay, let's break for supper, everyone." And he got a big feast brought in. Everyone like was forced to stay and eat. And he's like, "Okay, back to work, everyone." And they thought of the phonograph.
Yeah, he's not a genius inventor. He invented being the nightmare CEO. That's what he invented, and people glorify that, and that is propagandized as shit, because that's who really runs the world. That's the problem, is people who have learned from Edison and his ways, and it infects everything. You want to know something? And this has always stuck with me, and I love her so much. But Bo said something to me once where she said, I when she works with people, she's like, you kind of meet them where they're at. And she said, but it's not manipulation. I think of it as inspiration. And I'm like, oh man, I'm really glad you don't have a lot of money. That's terrifying. I adore her. I truly do. And she's one of my favorite people that's ever existed. But I'm so glad she doesn't have $1 billion.
Yeah, she would be a monster. I agree.
She said that like 3 years ago, and it's never left my head.
And so they're sitting there inventing this phonograph, having an idea like, what if we recorded it like this? And the first ever recording that you could play back was of Thomas Edison himself reciting "Mary Had a Little Lamb."
I'm gonna hate this. Ugh.
Can you hear it? I don't think I pushed the volume on.
No, but I can see him. Ugh.
I tried to do it sneaky so you wouldn't get a chance to hate him so much.
The first words I spoke in the original phonograph, a little piece of practical poetry. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
That's the first ever piece of recorded Thomas Edison's voice. The oldest voice recorded on something.
Yeah, it sounds like someone 190 speaking. It sounds like he recorded it today.
Edison does the next tech bro. You're gonna love this. Is so fucking funny. Now I didn't think of it this way, but now that you're saying it, I got so many funny things. So he starts using this as like a promotional tactic for his company, right? He's got this new thing that honestly has never been thought of before. And he would bring it to the press and show them what he invented. He just showed a couple people at first. And when he first started showing people, the other people that weren't there when it happened, they couldn't understand it. It would blow people's minds so badly that they couldn't comprehend what was happening. So like people were saying that they were hearing it, but they're like, I don't know what that is. And then they got Thomas to go like, Mary had a little lamb. And they went, oh, it's his voice. What the fuck? Like to me, that's crazy. Inventing something so new that it like your brain can't even comprehend. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So he saw how that worked. So he brought this to the press, and the press was like, they did a big write up in the paper. They gave him the nickname the Wizard of Menlo Park because the phonograph he showed like was basically magic to them. After this article went out, the president wanted to meet Edison. He was invited to the White House to demonstrate the invention to President Rutherford B. Hayes. The president was so impressed by the phonograph that it was at 3 a.m. for whatever reason that he met him. I don't know why. And the president...
How can we use this to control people?
President Hayes apparently woke his wife up. Like, you got to hear this. And they just hung out until like 3:30 in the morning. And yeah, the phonograph was a hit. And now he's a celebrity. So Edison was like, I like what's going on here. How do I follow this up? And he was obsessed with the idea of electric light, safe electric light. He wanted to he wanted to perfect the light bulb. He knew the light bulb was a thing, but they lasted maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes before they blew up. It was invented by a British guy named Joseph Swan. And problem was the Swan light bulb only lasted a couple minutes. Edison knew that inventing a way to have the light everywhere was going to be a hit. Before the light bulb, the people had to use gas lamps for indoor use, and those were dangerous because it was gas and it fucking light shit on fire all the time. And the world was largely dark at night at those times. There were arc lamps that they were using electricity to light up the streets, but those were also dangerous. Those things shot off a lot of sparks. Not good for indoor use at all.
Pussies.
Imagine we all just had like zapping two fucking like.
I would love that. We just have to yell over everything all the time because there's lights on. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
So the light bulb.
All of our electric bills are $9,000 a month. Yeah. Just the transference of energy is so inefficient.
So not like only the super elite would be lit up at night. That would be. It would be like, what did I get for Christmas? I got a lamp that I could use 3 times.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a nice party at night one day.
Yep. Oh, I turned it on too close to my face. I'm blind now. Because I don't need a lamp.
I wonder if I can still sell this lamp. It's got 2 more uses.
Yeah.
The light bulb seemed like a great idea because lots of people tried to fix the light bulb way before Edison did. I don't know. He just did this is why people call Edison a genius, because I don't know. One of Edison's most famous quotes is, and you're going to love it. Do you know what it is? Edison's most famous quote?
No, I don't. And I'm dreading it.
I'm going to tell you the real one, and then I'm going to tell you the one that it should be. So the real quote is, Edison's most famous quote was, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. But it should be, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% other people's perspiration.
Yeah. Yep.
So
they really act like they do the most.
Oh God! Edison's team like tinkered on the thing like they normally did, to figure out what filament would be the best. So they used horsehair, cat hair, donkey hair, chimpanzee hair, feathers of all types, spider web, fibrous material of all types. They found something that worked, which was the carbon-coated piece of cotton. Back to the carbon. Oh, this carbon's lighting up pretty good. I can taste it's lighting up pretty good.
Yeah. How many light bulbs did he suck off?
You're like, Edison, can't you see? He's like, I just like the way it tastes.
He's like, I'm trying to listen to it.
Wait, Gerald, are you telling me this doesn't make sound? Just like... Yeah. I can hear it pretty goddamn good in my mouth right now.
Sounds like pennies.
So these new bulbs with the carbon lasted 14 and a half hours, which was a huge improvement. Nowadays, I would throw out every light bulb in my house if they only lasted 14.5 hours. I'd be so mad. But back then, that was great. He got his patent for the version of the light bulb, and he made a demonstration of his device in December 1879 at his lab in Menlo Park. Then he promised at that demonstration that he's going to light up Manhattan with this new light bulb. And then got him investors like J.P. Morgan, Spencer Trask, and members of the Vanderbilt family. So he's hooking up with the real good ones.
Great people, yeah.
Yeah.
None of them ever did a bad thing in their lives.
And after he lit up his Menlo Park lab, this made him the most famous man in the world. Probably by far. So famous that by 1880, people would make the pilgrimage to Menlo Park to see the lights.
Did he get famous enough that he also invented that making you have to automatically be a pedophile?
What?
Well, just rich people and pedophilia hand in hand.
He already was. He was teetering the line at 16 back then. You know what I mean? He was like, oh, she's going to be too old.
I mean, the 1800s, yeah, that's an old maid. That's...
You're not going to be one of us. Got to find one 16 or younger, Thomas, or you're not going to be one of us.
Yeah, in order to be a pedophile then, you had to be like assaulting zygotes or something.
I am the abortion. Okay.
Yeah.
People go there. I find it crazy that people would just go there. He didn't have like armed guards or like a cat. Like people just go there and sleep outside of his fucking lab. and they would steal light bulbs. They would just take a bunch of bulbs and bring them home to show their family. People watched the inventors inside working all day, all night. Henry Villard, president of the Oregon Railroad and Navigation Company, attended this light demonstration. He was so impressed with the lighting system that he offered Edison a job to install electric lighting on the Columbia. It was a cargo and passenger ship. Lighting that up would make the trips a lot better, a lot more fun. And it became the first commercial application of the electric light bulb. Edison started to get contract after contract with Villard, lighting up trains. Edison started a new company called Edison Illuminating Company, and he wants to patent energy distribution. So Edison started designing an entire lighting system, one that could light up Manhattan. So not only did he invent the light bulb, he had to make stuff like switches, relays, wires, stuff that can conduct electricity efficiently, power generators, which they called dynamos, which I like.
Oh, dynamos.
Generators were called dynamos. I like that. So he invented a new utility. Not only was he trying, like, he knew that like monthly payments was where it was at. You know, subscription services.
This guy was so far ahead of his time, for the worse for all of us.
For sure. He wanted electric.
He ruined society.
To be, he was. There was already gas utilities. There was already utilities out there, but he wanted to invent a new one for himself, electricity. And then he starts to distribute it. Edison Illuminating Company opens up two more companies, Edison Machine Works and Edison Tube Company. They were important for gathering the wiring, or for getting all the wiring improved around New York City. But in the grand scheme of things, not really in the story. I just wanted to mention Edison Machine Works for the Tesla part of the story, because that's where Tesla ended up working. So on September 4th, 1882, Edison turned the electrical lighting system to supply 946 customers. By this time, Joseph Swan, the guy who actually invented the light bulb, started to fight with Edison in court about patents with the light bulb. So they settle that out of court, and Swan and Edison start their own company together, which was Ediswan, and they made a bunch of money off the light bulb.
Fucking narcissists.
I just love how Edison's like, I'll do it, but my name's first.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if he lost that battle.
He probably would have lost the patent to the light bulb and then not become.
Yeah.
So it was either that. It was like it was probably high stakes for both sides, because if Joseph Swan didn't do, he lost, he would also have nothing. So he was probably like, I'll just team up with this guy so I can make at least some money off of this. Edison would, after this battle though, Edison started getting a lot of photos taken with him with the light bulb. Wherever he went, he would always have like a light bulb on him or be beside a light bulb and just get the photos beside, just to cement that he was the inventor of the light bulb. He knew that press had that much power. He's like, I'm just going to make myself the inventor. That's fucking crazy. He had foresight.
Of course.
It's wild. Yeah. Did he invent the light bulb? Not really. Did he make the bulb marketable? Yes. Does he deserve credit for being a psychopath? No. Did he light up the world? Yes. Did he become a multi-millionaire at that time? Yes. He's he's an asshole. I don't like this guy. Whether he did good things or not doesn't matter. So let's go to the Tesla episode for a second. Let's just talk about Tesla. On his first day in America in 1884, Tesla went to Edison Machine Works and to the lab to ask for a job. He was introduced to Edison by his friend Charles Batchelor, who was his American contact at the Edison Power Station that Tesla worked at in Paris. Batchelor was like his right-hand man. He was one of his main guys. So if Batchelor's saying that Tesla's a good guy, that's when he hires him. So Edison hires him on the spot. And he ends up with the wiring, helping with the wiring on the Oregon. The Oregon was one of the first ships that had electric lighting as well. Edison offers Tesla $50K if he can improve on his DC dynamo design. I don't know if you remember this. Tesla kept saying, I can make this better. And he goes, okay, I'll give you $50K if you can. And the Oregon was recently damaged and being fixed by Edison Machine Works. So if this, like, in Thomas Edison's mind, he's like, if this kid can actually, like, figure this out, and he's as good of a man as Batch says he is, I'll let him try. And Tesla, he'll never do it. He thinks he'll never do it. So that's why he makes the bet, really. And then Tesla does it within a week. And then Tesla's like, well, see, look, I made your DC dynamos way more efficient. Where's my $50,000 bonus? And Edison claims that I was just joking around, Tesla. You probably just don't understand American humor yet. I fucking love that. Like, I find that so American. What?
Yep.
I was kidding.
It's a joke.
This
Come on.
Yeah, this is when Tesla quits and he starts to work with George Westinghouse. Tesla worked for Edison for about a year total, and we'll talk a little bit about Westinghouse in a bit. So on August 9th, 1884, Edison's wife Mary dies, like I said. I thought I'd just squeeze that in there because Edison's life is already hectic as it is. And just before his wife had died, his funding for all his electrical systems was he was putting into place was running out, so he didn't really have uh, like much left to do, and he was broke as shit. And then his wife dies, so Edison finds her dead, by the way, and their 10-year-old daughter Marion finds his father weeping over a dead wife slash her mom. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty sad. And I
well, fuck.
yeah, I told you about how she died and stuff like that, but I didn't mention this. Edison was so broke at the time of his wife's death that he had to borrow $500 to have her funeral.
I
Like,
bet he didn't.
how did you? Yeah, exactly. That's probably the story he told. Just like he was lifted by the ears. But then the War of the Currents starts. We talked about a lot of that in the Tesla episode, Tesla versus Edison kind of thing. It wasn't even Tesla and Edison Sorry, it wasn't even Tesla that Edison was battling with. It was a guy named George Westinghouse. George Westinghouse was Edison's nemesis. Edison was super competitive. Edison was quoted as saying, "If you want to succeed, get some enemies." That was one of his like famous quotes. I feel like that's like not wrong though. If you're that much of a like petty asshole that you need to win all the time, it's not wrong. But a lot of people that are super successful need to win all the time.
Yeah.
So when he said this, the people sometimes attribute Edison to saying this about Tesla, but it was actually about George Westinghouse. Westinghouse was another businessman, fucking evil dude, but his business was gas. So as soon as he saw what Edison was doing, he started to pivot to the electrical distribution just to keep up. But he had heard that about AC power and transformers. He heard that that was the better way to do power distribution. DC travels at a lower voltage but can only travel about a mile before needing another generator. AC power runs at a higher voltage but can be transformed in and out of places and can travel long distances. So he saw ahead like if we're doing distribution, we're gonna need to move to this AC power thing, and he hires Tesla after Tesla had his new AC dynamos. That was what Tesla invented, right? The AC power. So Edison saw Westinghouse getting into the energy game and turned into what is now called or referred to as the War of the Currents. And Edison was scared that his investment in DC power was for nothing because he knew AC was better, but he also knew AC power was dangerous. Uh, AC used the danger of AC power to his advantage in spreading the word on his DC power system. Edison went around killing small stray animals with AC power just to show the power of it and how it could kill someone. He would find cats and shit.
Yeah, he didn't stick to that small.
The you just zap little things. But remember, we did talk about the elephant rumor, the one where Edison just killing an elephant to prove that AC was dangerous. It's not even true. Edison did not kill Topsy the elephant. If you want to hear about that, go back to the Tesla episode. It was a thing that was shown at the World's Fair, put up by somebody killing an elephant with AC power, but he didn't do that himself. He had of his like video camera thing that you could put your head in. It was like a viewfinder thing. You put your face in, and you could like there's a couple different videos you could pick from, and it was one of them was just to show like look how bad it is. I could even show you an elephant dying, but he never did it. But he did still kill dogs and shit.
I bet that was the story they gave after people received it poorly.
Maybe, but like
It was like, oh well, no, he wouldn't do that.
It wasn't so bad until it started to smell.
Just like a cat or like a dog or like a really bad kid. I would never do an elephant.
Just a stray child. You're just an orphan. Hello, sir. Can I have a shilling? Yeah, come here, little guy. Zap! Fucking DC's like, better, right?
I wouldn't even fucking hire you to sell stolen groceries. Useless.
I had better assistants than you when I was 13. So yeah, he's kind of a fuckhead, killing a bunch of cats. Even if he did kill the cats and dogs, strays alone is fucking asshole. Edison also had a hand in creating the electric chair. Some other dentist guy invented it, but Edison suggested that they use AC power to power the thing, and even arranged for the AC dynamo to be there to power it. I'll set this up for you, no problem. And They killed a guy on death row with it, and Edison thought it would be quick and painless, which he told everyone, which it was actually not. It took 10 minutes. It said there's reports of people puking at the sight of it. Uh, Edison started calling getting killed by AC power getting Westinghoused. So instead, instead of just being like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that," he goes, "Yeah, yeah, that's what happens. Westinghouse, you get Westinghoused, motherfucker, get Westinghoused." In 1885, Edison, through a friend of his, Ezra Gilliland, meets Mina Miller in Akron, Ohio. She would have been 20, Edison 30. Her father was another inventor. And Edison teaches Mina Morse code, and they get to know each other quite well through Morse code.
Oh.
They fall in love with a tap of a finger. He proposed to her using Morse code in 1886, and they get married. Uh, a little side step here to talk about Mina a bit. Mina ended up being stepmother to Thomas's three children. They were a handful and didn't really get along with her new stepmom. She did her best. Thomas and her have three other children, Madeline, Charles, and Theodore. Madeline had the nickname of Toots, which I thought was fun. Madeline got
Toots.
Toots. I don't know why, but I thought that was fun. Madeline got married in 1914 to a guy named John Eyre Sloan, and they had four kids, and those were the only grandchildren Thomas Edison had from any of his kids. Charles was probably the most successful of Edison's children. He studied at MIT and took over his father's business. He served term as governor of New Jersey from 1941 to 1944. And Theodore was named after Mina's brother, who died in the Spanish-American War a few years after she was born. Theodore was also an inventor, and he had 80 of his own patents over the years of his life. He wasn't as successful as his father, but he probably was the most like him. Uh, After Thomas and Mina got married, they built a huge house and put it under Mina's name just in case Edison ever went bankrupt. Another shifty move by the Thomas Edison thing.
Mm.
They hire cooks, maids, high society stuff. Mina was already belonged to a famous family and had a better time in the relationship with Thomas than Mary had. Mary was thrust into the limelight, and I'm guessing that's why she numbed herself with morphine. That's just my guess. Just I hate this. Um, just my speculation on that one. But from what I understand, Mina was less annoyed with Edison being away all the time. She probably liked it. She was probably fucking the pool guy, but that's all good.
Oh my.
That's my guess. She was already parts of the high society and focused on buying clothes and using lots of his money. She was that girl. Anyways, back to the War of the Currents. Despite his fame and media control, by 1887, Edison was losing the current war. And by the end of 1889, Edison gave up the war and started to focus efforts on iron ore and refining methods for low-grade iron. By 1890, Edison Machine Works, now out of the hands of Edison's iron grip, was integrating AC power systems into their own. After a bunch of mergers, Edison's General Electric was renamed General Electric, and that company is still around today. The electric grid was probably the most important invention, but that didn't stop Edison from continuing to innovate. Mining was always one of Edison's interests, starting the projects all the way back to the 1870s. But it wasn't until the 1890s that Edison started to buy mines and figure out ways to improve ore production for his own uses, like the rechargeable battery and other such electrical projects. Yes, he invented the first rechargeable battery as well. He made a bunch of innovations in mining, like bigger and more efficient crushers using electromagnets to pull iron out. Nothing that would compare to his other inventions, though. He's pretty much like on his downslope from his inventing career now. On a fun side note for people who live around here where I live, if they didn't know this, in 1901, he was up in my part of the world and is credited for finding the historic Falcon Bridge deposit that has fed families in the Sudbury area for over 100 years. Probably the biggest.
The families eat deposit?
Yeah, essentially. Like if you start deposit and end food, yes, but there's a bunch of steps in between, but yeah.
I think they were just eating it.
Just eating fucking zinc.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You said it fed them, yeah.
For sure. That's the one thing that Homelander can't see through is zinc, so.
Ah, yes.
It's probably helpful in that way too.
Yeah, just know that the longer this goes on, the longer I have to wait.
It's almost done. I promise. Possibly the biggest contribution that came from his mining innovations was the invention of Portland cement. Still used today. a variant of it today. In 1890, Edison starts to feel the effects of his diabetes and isn't as healthy as he had been in his 20s and 30s. So while working on mining stuff, Edison was hustling other inventions, one of them being the kinetograph, which is basically an early invention of the motion picture camera with no sound. The sound came later with his kinetoscope. He got the idea from a guy who worked for him, William Kennedy Laurie Dixon. Laurie kept saying that he wanted to invent something for the eye that the phonograph did for the ear. And Edison had been trying to invent it for a while, but it wasn't going as planned. So Edison helped him by 1897. He had a patent for the kinetograph. Dixon and Edison had a prototype working in 1891, and people were publicly watching short movies through a deep hole viewer. He only had a few movies, and the kinetoscopes were installed in bars and stuff. You put a few coins in, and you could watch one round of a boxing match, 1 coin per round. And if you wanted to watch like the all 9 rounds, you had to like put 9 coins in. Edison himself wanted to set up business for his own movie studio, so that's what he did. He opened in 1893, opened a movie studio, and then in 1894 he wanted to get some great footage to show off his movies. So we got some great footage from Annie Oakley, prime sharpshooter of her time, and they even made that train movie, the first motion picture that scared everyone. I don't know if you you know what I'm talking about. You're giving
Yes, the
train coming at you.
yeah.
Yeah. In 1913, they perfected the first talking motion picture. Edison Movie Studio shot over 1,200 films, including the first Frankenstein movie and the first adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. I do have the Alice in Wonderland footage.
Now that the circle's complete, he made it to Hollywood, pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. He basically invented Hollywood, really. So he invented the fact that they're all pedophilias. They're all following in his footsteps.
Exactly.
In 1918, the movie industry had taken a life of its own, and Edison was out of it. It only took him 5 years to lose that one. Everyone's like, "Nah, we're bigger pedophiles than you, buddy. 16-year-old, you fucking pussy."
Yep. Not even well liked in that community. Wow, he is like Elon Musk.
He had a monopoly for so long, and the independent movie makers wanted to get away from Edison name because Edison would just take most of their money. So they just said, "Fine, we'll just buy a camera and make our own movies." I do feel the need to say that Edison told everyone his favorite movie was 1915's Birth of a Nation. It was the first nation's
Jesus
first
Christ.
blockbuster. So when you said he was a racist, basically, yeah, he was. The first movie, Birth of a Nation was the first movie ever screened at the White House. And it also happens to be the most racist movie ever made. The film argues that giving black people rights was a terrible error, and the KKK, who are the stars of the film, are going to be the ones to save America. The film actually depicts lynching as a positive thing. And the KKK apparently was almost dead in 1915, but was revived heavily because of this film.
Yep. We should treat the rich like they think minorities should be treated.
For sure. That's like a no-brainer.
I would love to just have like a separate area in restaurants that's like this is the rich person area, and it's just a fucking trough with feces in it.
Yeah.
That we need to be smarter about this.
Every once in a while, you just see a new log fall. It's like attached to the toilet where everyone else shits.
Mhm.
Just fresh.
Yep.
You're getting secondhand restaurant food.
Yeah. We don't serve your kind in here, Richie.
Yeah. Poors only. It's fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I figured I'd mention that Edison was a huge racist. I guess the moving picture might be his biggest cultural influencing invention. And he did this in his 50s after already changing the world.
I mean, the biggest cultural influencing one was shithead CEO culture.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's what we're discovering was his greatest contribution. And by greatest, I just mean largest, not best. His best contribution was fucking dying.
What was his best?
I said
Dying?
fucking
Oh, dying.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it was dying like as in like a metaphorical.
No, him dying was the best thing he could do.
Yeah, he lived till his 80s. He lived forever.
Yeah, that's too long. Yes, but at least he's gone.
Thomas, after he got kicked out of the movie making industry, he's like, I just want to go back to where it all started, the phonograph. They were huge and expensive at the time. You couldn't really carry them. They were about $100 each, which was a lot of money back then. It's about 2,500 bucks. And he wanted to make a smaller one with this improved rechargeable batteries and sell them inside of toys. And he made a bunch of money off that. Uh, Actively working on batteries. He wanted to make electric cars. Henry Ford actually worked for Edison. And Ford said that Edison was the one who encouraged him to continue tinkering with his combustible engine and the car idea. And by 1899, Ford quit and started his own automobile company. And by 1908, Model T was changing the world, much like Edison did with his electrical grid system. 1910, Edison produced a battery that could power up an electric car, but was nowhere. But it went nowhere because people loved the gas-powered cars. So in 1910, they already had a battery-powered car that worked, and they're like, "Nah, I'm good." Ford loved Edison so much that he lent him $1.1 million in 1900 money to produce a battery that could work better than gas. And Edison never succeeded to bring anything to market. In 1915, during World War I, Edison suggested that the U.S. government form a science and industry committee to provide advice and research to the U.S. military. And he also headed the Naval Consulting Board. He was working
Damn.
on a submarine that really didn't succeed, like a power out for submarine that didn't succeed. But the government loved having him. He was a good guy to have around. Thomas Edison's on our side. We'll beat those krauts any way we can. And Edison worked on the rubber problem, meaning that in 1915, the U.S. used 75% of the rubber but couldn't make it domestically. So he tried to find a native supply, but didn't really succeed in this. They tested about 17,000 different plant samples, and the only thing that came close was the goldenrod plant that didn't produce enough supply. He was always inventing right till the end of his life. In 1926, Thomas gave up the presidency of Thomas A. Edison Inc. to his son Charles, who held the position well into the 1900s. In 1930, the 83-year-old Thomas Edison, still out representing his now son's company, he throttled the first train on an electric train system, and he'd been championing for years in his inaugural trip in New York City. In October 18th, 1931, Thomas Edison died at his home from complication from his diabetes at the age of 84. So the mystery here is, was Edison a fraud or not? And did he steal and murder to get his patents into production? I don't think this is really mysteries. I think we already know it, right?
Yeah.
Edison is quoted as saying, "My principal business consists of giving commercial value to the brilliant but often misdirected ideas of others. Accordingly, I never pick up an item without thinking how I might be able to improve it." So Edison didn't even really consider himself an inventor. He did. I don't think that makes him. I think that makes him exactly what he says he was, as a guy who wanted to make a lot of money off other people. He even said it.
Yep.
Did he murder to get his inventions? Let's talk about a guy named Louis Le Prince. Le Prince was a Frenchman born in 1841. He was an artist, art teacher, and inventor. He had great successes as an artist. He traveled all over the world painting and teaching to students. He got the idea for a moving picture in the early 1880s, starting with a camera with 16 different lenses. That didn't work because all the lenses were in different spots and it just made the picture look like it jumped around a lot. Then he came up with a camera that took many photos in quick succession, and it was the early prototype for a motion picture. In 1888, he filmed what is now known as the Roundhay Garden scene in the sequence of his son Adolphe. It's Adolf playing the accordion.
Oh my.
He filmed some road traffic and pedestrian crossing the Leeds Bridge. By 1890, Le Prince was to head to America to show off his new device. On his trip back to France to pick up his family, he disappeared, never to be seen again by his friends or family. In 1891, Edison unveiled his new version of the motion picture camera. His Le Prince's wife and son both claimed the design was almost identical to her husband/father's, but he wasn't there to defend his invention. This led to the speculation that Edison had him killed off, which there is really no evidence of, minus his character. That makes it pretty high likelihood that he killed him. It also led to speculation that he committed suicide due to financial pressures, which was no evidence of. There was evidence of. He was an artist and spent his money like one. He didn't even make much to begin with. The motion picture would have been a huge moneymaker for him. So there's more speculation that he just disappeared to avoid financial difficulties, all of which could be true. I think he just got killed by fucking Edison. Scotland Yard and the family undertook exhaustive searches but never found him. In 1887, Le Prince was declared dead. Do I think Edison killed him? Yes. But him committing suicide or disappearing are valid, but I don't think it's true. Overall, I do think Edison was a fraud, but I do think he lit up the world, and I do think he did a lot to further humankind. Whether it was good or bad, he was definitely worth noting in history.
Yeah, he certainly accelerated things.
What does that mean?
Being accelerationist is essentially what all of these evil fucking tech bros are doing.
Oh, I don't know that. I'm not. Does it have anything to do
Woke?
with rocks?
Yeah, I know.
Anything to do with rocks? I know a lot
Not
about rocks.
precious gems, probably, because I don't think they're planning on money being useful after
Yeah, I
they
guess-
collapse the world.
Gold. I do gold. I deal in gold. That's my mine. It's a gold mine. That's kind of precious, right?
Yeah, why not?
I'm good. All right, that's Thomas Edison. That's
Oh, what a bad guy.
what a piece of shit. He gets such a, if you read it, he's a hero to a lot of people in America, especially. It's pretty wild how much propaganda's gone around on this guy over the years. Like he did a pretty good job of making himself look real good. I don't believe 90% of what they say about him. I believe that he did steal a bunch of shit. He was a monster to work for. I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't think anybody liked him in his life. I really don't. I think people just like making money off him.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything final words? Inspire me before we go.
Fucking kill rich people's kids, dude. It's the only way they're gonna learn.
Fair enough. Well, we're signing off with that.
Sounds good.
I just watched Private Dicks and I think RJ's the funniest.
What? Come on.